Hello, happy Easter, everyone. It's Kinninigan. I just wanted to make a short video. In all honesty, today, it's raining again in Philadelphia. This sucks. It got cold again. The weather's been crazy here. Um, I did something since like 4 o'clock in the morning when I got up today. I watched the entire Easter Mass by Pope Leo at the Basilica of St. Peter in Rome. I watched it for a few hours actually. It was pretty impressive. And Here it is. Who wants me to do a video on the Tartaria and mud flood psyop? Because, see, there's a problem with the Tartaria and mud flood psyop. And it came to me when I was watching the Mass being performed at the Basilica of St. Peter today. So, by the way, let me give you a little history here. Because part of this Tartarian conspiracy is that cathedrals were built by Tartarian giants. However, there's a problem with that. Because the Basilica of St. Peter, by the way, I'll tell you what makes something a cathedral and what makes it a basilica. There is a difference. And there's a few things here going on. One, basilicas come from the time of Constantine and the Byzantine Empire. This was the late Roman Empire. They knew how to build with stone. They knew how to carve statues out of marble. Rome was, and I'm telling you to this day because I worked with a few of them in construction, Italians still have that construction gene in their blood to this day. I've worked with some highly skilled Italian craftsmen. It's in their blood. Ancient Rome, and that's who built these basilicas. So what's the problem with this? Well, the Basilica of St. Peter, and obviously a lot of other cathedrals and churches have been occupied by Roman Catholics. They weren't built by Tartarians. They weren't built by giants. We know that. They've been performing Mass here for Easter a long time with a lot of different popes. Secondly, interestingly, now, doesn't that look like a building that you would see in one of these Tartaria PSYOP videos? And they say, this was built by Tartarians. No, it wasn't. Because this cathedral in Spain was just completed February of this year, recently. This is the Sagrada Familia. It's been under construction for 144 years. And look at the spires on it. Because, yeah, if you see where I'm going at with this, and this was built by humans. Spain also has a very ancient history with Rome. And they have, so, yeah. But there's another angle to this PSYOP, which I'm going to show you, and that's it ties in with the New World Order, the Great Reset, the dumbing down of human civilization, because they obviously they want to rewrite history. And there's just too many other obvious questions that when you start asking them about this supposed Tartarian civilization, why were they never invaded by Russia or China? Because they say Tartaria was where present-day Mongolia is. In fact, why hasn't China or Russia ever invaded Mongolia? Actually, it was the other way around. The Mongolians were the ones invading China. Because it ties in with the Cynocephali and Subutai, the Khans. If you watch the video I made yesterday, now I have a few more videos on the Cynocephali that I was going through on my Odyssey channel, so I might upload those to YouTube today. I'll get them on here. But yeah, this is just an example I want to show you here of some modern basilicas and cathedrals that were built by humans. They weren't. I know every single. See, what makes you a good researcher, or even like if you work in sales, is knowing your rebuttals. And I had to watch quite a few shitty AI-generated Tartaria videos that came up in my YouTube feed because now they're just making ridiculous videos about all kinds of stuff. And it was... so yeah, I am aware of everything from the Cabbage Patch Kid conspiracy to the World's Fairs to Tartarian giants. And look, I know every conspiracy that there is attached to it, and I'm going to fully rip it apart with just basic logic and show you something that they're really covering up, and why Tartaria is actually another word for Tartarus, which is one of the hells that the fallen angels are imprisoned in. The Titans specifically are imprisoned in Tartarus. Tartarus was created when the fallen angels fell from heaven and collided with the abyss. That's when Tartarus was created. So, like I said, when it comes to the Tartarian Empire, the Mongols, who made the map calling it Tartaria? For example, in ancient Rome, anyone who didn't speak Latin was called a barbarian. Yeah. So they would just, you know, it's like I said, who made the map actually? And there are maps that I am going to show you of Mongolia that actually have cynocephaly on the maps, like the Pyrese map. We're going to take a look at that one. So maybe I'll do that video tomorrow. Debunking a PSYOP is always good for my YouTube channel because it'll bring traffic to my channel. Oh, believe me, it will. Just like I had to watch chat feeds on I was watching the live stream from the Vatican, and all you people out there, I swear, if anyone gets more hate, seriously, there's no other Christians out there that get more hate than we Catholics. Just people in the comments section on the chat and the live streams was disgusting. I mean, it was just, yeah, I understand people hate Catholics. All right, I get it. Demons really hate the Catholic Church because we are the church started by Jesus, and this is a big holy day for us, obviously. So, anyway, that's all. Make update video here. So yeah, I'll be going over a lot of this, and yeah, the difference between a basilica and a cathedral. Basilicas were mainly built by the Byzantine Empire, Constantinople, the Holy Roman Empire, and this is when you get into things like the Council of Nicaea. I'm very well aware of it. And yeah, you are going to have some Roman pagan architectural flair in basilicas because they were built by Romans. And they know a thing or two about building temples and huge buildings. So, no, it was not the Tartarians. And like I said, there is a church that was just completed in Spain after 144 years. Look at the spires on that. Because these spires specifically would be related. That's Tartarian. They're spires pulling off the free energy grid. I know all about it. I also have some insight, which I'm not going to tell you until I actually make the video, of members I met from secret societies that gave me some insights to who built these buildings. Just saying. Stonemasons guilds. Yeah, they actually did used to build stuff out of stone at one time before they started invading Iran and playing Ride the Goat all the time and going to Epstein Island. They used to build things. There was a time. In fact, the Grand Masonic Lodge here in Philadelphia is a pretty impressive building. It wasn't built by Tartarians. It was built by Freemason. City Hall is another impressive building in Philadelphia. It wasn't built by Tartarians. Yeah, I know all about the mud flood, and this is why our founding fathers were called founders, because they found the buildings. They didn't build. Yeah, I know the whole, and I know what the PSYOP is really engineered to do, and it's one thing I'm very good at. So, and yeah, that's tied to reptilians because they want you to forget history. Specifically, they want to. They would love to. Specifically holy sites like cathedrals and basilica. Yeah, they're definitely going to attack those buildings as not being built by humans. Yeah. You got to admit, you might not be Catholic. Not all of these are, but if you are, you got to admit, we Catholics do have some pretty impressive buildings to go to church at. Churches, basilicas, they are pretty impressive. You got to give us that one. So, anyway. Happy Easter, everyone. Yeah, he is risen. Yeah, I watched the entire Mass that Pope Leo gave today. I watched it pretty long time. They had the stream running nonstop here. This is a live stream from the Vatican. So I watched the whole ceremonial mass today. Then I'm thinking to myself, oh wait, this looks like one of them buildings that they said the Tartarians built, even though Catholics have been performing mass here for a long time. Wasn't built by giants. Just saying. Anyway, not saying there weren't giants around at that time. There were giants on the island of Malta. Oh yeah, I know. I know about the giants of Malta, including the giant. So anyway. Hope everyone's having a good Easter. You can support the channel. All the links are in the description. Take care and God bless.